Let's go and speak to Senior Political Science Lecturer, University of Cape Coast, Dr. Jonathan Asante Otri. Doc, good morning to you.
Morning.
I hope you're well, Doc.
You can't complain.
First, let me take your reaction, Doc, to the happenings in Parliament and the Speaker's action. Time yours?
Let me say good morning once again to your listeners and to your good self. It is important that leadership always will have to take responsibility, for the led. And of course, if the led also do certain things or things that are infractions, of the law and good conduct, let me say good conduct, obviously they must equally take responsibility. There were certain things that I proposed that ought to be done. One, the investigation ought to be conducted. A committee, the Speaker will have to set up a committee because the vetting committee, the function of the vetting committee is an extension from the powers of the Speaker. Therefore, they are responsible to the Speaker. So the Speaker will have to take that decision. Two, certain sanctions must apply, of which he has done. And I think that this 2 weeks sanction given to both sides is in order. It is good. It sends the good message to all and sundry, those internally and externally, to appreciate the view that look, when you misconduct yourself, you must be ready to bite the bullet. So I agree with what the Speaker, has done.
And I'm also sure you have been paying attention. You have you seen a statement from the minority?
Yes, I've seen it.
What do you think of the issues they raise?
The only thing pitiful about their position is the fact that the sanction, though the sanction cuts both sides, they have spiked at number 3, the majority 1. I think that they should rather be measured in the tone of language and the demand they are making on the Speaker. Because if the committee should come out with their report, obviously you will find more minority members being sanctioned along the line. So instead of going on a toe-to-toe with the Speaker, I think that the leadership of minority should rather, and the majority should rather go behind the scenes and meet with the Speaker so that they can find an amicable solution. This idea of that grandstanding, you see, that is the political style of Mr. Makin. It's not always that things of that nature will help. You need to learn when to be diplomatic. You need to learn when to be confrontational. Because you see, bear in mind that in all of this, what both sides are trying to do, especially the minority, is to upstage the majority. And by doing so, they want to make political capital by at least pruning down the goodwill that Ghanaians have given the MDC. And you could see in the type of questioning and the pattern of the questioning. One, it is to lead to a whitewashing of the former president. And if Dr. Baumia's name should come in, it should lead to a whitewashing of their activities and their mandate for the period. That is one. Two, find out if you'll be able to get some concessional speech or statement from any of these nominees. What is the essence of that? To ensure that it sticks in the mind of Ghanaians that, the kinds of things that is said towards the elections were things that were said for the sake of propaganda, that they do not have any merit. These are the main things that have been the objective of the minority. And of course, the majority, if they don't have that in mind, then they have no business being majority. Because you need to know that the vetting process is a period of political strategy. It is a period of political grandstanding. And there is no way you can look down, you can belittle things of that nature. Because you could see from the way and manner things have gone, what you see that some are political targets. They are targeted. The regional ministers, they are not in the eye of the storm. So obviously, if you go into the whitewashing type of vetting, they care less. But there are others who are targets, who have been in the political, landscape for quite some time. For the 8 years that they have been in opposition, they have said so many things. Some of these have led to the fall of the NPP. So they will not in any way look down, look unconcerned when personalities of that nature will appear and then they will just let go. They will have to question you till you come out to make certain concessional, statements. That apart, finally on this same issue, I think that pre-vetting meeting that they had, in which they gave the minority leader limitless times to ask questions, I think that, for me, I don't know who took that decision, but it doesn't it doesn't make sense to me. Let me put it bluntly. It doesn't make sense to me. Because if the minority leader has 5,000 questions to ask, so we all sit there, 5,000 questions. I mean, you see how boring the whole process will become.
But you must agree, as a keen political watcher, when the minority says the Speaker's approach disregards the fact that Parliament is a house of debate, sometimes heated, and members have a duty to ensure that due process is followed. The Speaker's role is to facilitate dialogue and order, not to punish lawmakers for standing their ground in the face of procedural unfairness. They are saying that on that day, what they were actually protesting is procedural unfairness, and that sometimes Parliament, because of its nature, even in committee, can get this heated.
Well, I don't think that Parliament is a house of fisticuffs. It is a house of debate. No two ways about that. But it's not a house of fisticuffs, where you be throwing chairs and intentionally breaking the legs of tables. No, that is not the kind of Parliament that we are all, envisaging.
Well, what do you think should be the way forward for all sides, the Speaker in between the majority and the minority?
That's why I said that it is not, everything is not about political grandstanding coming into the public domain. I mean, like, look at the quick flash manner that Afenyo Makin went to the Supreme Court, seeking interpretation here, asking for injunction here and there. What happened? What became of that? All these things led to their loss. Afenyo Makin will have to hasten slowly. When I speak, some people say, "Oh, you don't like that person." I don't even know him from Adam. We've never met. I don't need to know him. You are in the public eye. You see already NPP people are comparing him, his leadership style, to that of Mr. Kemen's support. Why is that the case? Because they seem to think that the style of leadership detracts from what the NPP stands for. Perhaps it's part of the learning curve. You will learn out of that. You will have to do more consultation. So, for example, what stopped him from calling his majority colleague? Let's go and see the Speaker. Let us fine-tune this. In the first place, the two of them should have gone to the Speaker in a quick flash after the incident happened. They didn't even have to wait sanctions to be meted out to them before, coming out with a presser or a press statement to that effect. You see, you have to be proactive and show proactive leadership. That is the best way to go. So you should have envisaged that, look, this thing that we have done is on live television. It is not as though it happened, it happened in camera, and therefore you are not going out there to rationalize. I said this happened, this did not happen. This is live television, beamed throughout the world. Therefore, the Speaker must act. The Speaker must act. Well, the only way you could have decided not to sanction the four lawmakers would have been that, well, I've set up a committee to investigate, after which sanctions will apply. That could also have been the option of the Speaker. As a way of dousing the pressure on Parliament and ensuring that he cleanses the image of Parliament in the public eye, that was a swift decision that he had to take. So I expected the minority leader to take advantage of that, go and see the Speaker. In his own wisdom, what could have occasioned that particular disaster? ABCNP. Well, so you see, I've written an article in which borders on communication, and in that, I stated that, look, what happens is that when people communicate, in actual fact, what they say, they communicate just about 10%. 90% of the communication is often silent. And you have to read in between the lines to be able to determine that whatever the person says, this and that and that, are behind the scenes communications that have not come out. So you will have to read in between the lines to see. So if you have gone to the speaker, for example, to seek audience with him, he could have explained the rationale, but that rationale cannot be communicated in full to the listenership and the viewership of all. So that is why you are privileged as a minority leader. The other one is privileged as a majority leader to be able to do so, to judge with the speaker. I think that to be sanctioned, this is a punishment. It is a sanction of a sort. I think it cleanses the image of Parliament.
Thank you, Doc. Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, Senior Political Science Lecturer, University of Cape Coast, join us on the line. We'll take a quick break. When we come back,